Good morning everyone. Thanks for joining me again. Give me a second to flip the camera. Alright, day 12 of the Sun Trip 2024. I think it's day 12. Alright, let's go through the problems we're having. Today is supposed to be kind of like the rest day, but what happened is we arrived yesterday here at about, what, 3 o'clock or something? 3:30 I think it was. And then we have a 24 hours mandatory stop. So today, and then yesterday we had the whole event with the mayor and everything, and then the meal. It took us till late. So today we leave at 3:30. So I basically have from this morning until 3:30 to do anything I need to do, which is a little bit less off time than I was expecting. So on the way, after the descent, on the way here yesterday, I had this tire on, which has an inner tube inside. And I got a puncture, and in the heat of the desert area after the climb I had to change it, which was a pain, by the way. Recognize this missing point. A few people have mentioned that I should change it, and I agree, but I haven't got another one, so I will not. There's nothing I can do about it. If the wheel explodes, then it's Sun Trip game over for me anyway. So I had this tire on, it got a puncture, and I know the reason I had a puncture is because the night before, I had changed from this to this, and I could see the rim tape. The tubeless rim tape is kind of like peeling away, and it's got little edges on it, and I was thinking, oh, these edges are going to rub through the tube, but I thought, well, I haven't got anything else, so I'll have to go for it. And it worked fine, thank God for all of it, and it kind of finally went just at the end, which tactically speaking was perfect for me, because me and Jean-Marc were kind of neutralized at that point. Which is kind of amazing. It saved me like 45 minutes of struggle alone in the heat. But I put this tyre back on in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, and what I found is on the other side of the tyre, first things first, I'm going to take it out. The steps for that is there's a reusable zip tie there that just holds the motor cable. Disconnect the motor. This is called a torque arm. Basically the motor needs something to hold in order to power itself to rotate, otherwise it would just be spinning freely, it wouldn't do anything. So this is what it holds against, which is attached to the fork of the bike to try and spread the forces, so it's not just down here on the axle trying to spin itself. Same, of course, this is not the best torque arm, because when you go to regen you can see there's some movement. So, but it's okay for this, it's not a very powerful motor. Get the axle nuts off, open up the braking system, and then get the wheel out. Alright, let's get the wheel out. I'll show you the problem with this tyre. Well, I've got it flat now, which I realise I shouldn't have done. I should have showed you before, but you can kind of see here there's a cut in the sidewall, which I assume is from gravel or something. Now it looks fine, but when it's under pressure you can actually see this is bulging outwards, so it's not really safe to continue on this tyre, unfortunately, as much as I love it. I even love it for doing maintenance stuff. It comes out between the brakes. It's light, it's small, it's easy to handle. I would definitely use these tyres again. What I would really like is the bigger version of these tyres. There's a 34mm wide, which would be perfect. But to find a nice tyre, that's the problem with 20-inch wheels, is the tyre choice is awful. And even nowadays for 26-inch wheels, the tyre choice is getting worse and worse. This bike is an ASUB 6. It says 6 there. Can you see 6? Which means 20-inch. They do there's 3 different ones. There's one with 2 20-inch wheels, which is the Mini. There's one with a 26 and a 20, which is this, the 6. And there's a ASUB Max, which is 2 26-inch wheels. And now they've just released another one, which is the ASUB 700, which is 2 700C wheels, which is like the normal, what you would call a normal wheel for a road bike. That's the one I'd really like, because the choice of tyres is so much better. I don't know whether it's the perfect one for putting a motor in the front wheel. No, 20-inch is quite nice, the motor spins fast, it's really strong, but for the tyre choice, oh, so nice. So yeah, look here, you see how the end of the tape is coming up? Often it's good practice to put a piece of electrical tape there to stop that happening, but more than that, I used the wrong width, I think, so you can see how the tape is kind of coming inwards. On the right side there it's good, but the left side, you see it's creating like a ridge, and that's rubbing against an inner tube, and that's what's giving a puncture. So Seeing as that tyre's dead anyway, this wheel is not going to be tubeless again, so I don't need this tubeless tape on here, so it's coming off. I'm going to go to a bike shop and I'm going to take an inner tube, I'm going to cut it up and kind of create a sort of rim tape from it, and then we go to using a tube tyre like normal. I love this wheel, it's so cool. It's just this little thing is just giving so much more energy to my day. I was going to say power, but actually this motor is not that powerful. I can literally put out more power than this motor can, but I can't put as much energy out as this can when I've got a full battery and full sun over the course of a day. This is where real repairs are made, with ingenuity and anything that you have. So cool. Do you know the first thing I see in all of this stuff? 20-inch rim. Look at me vlogging in the street on foot. What even is this walking thing? I don't even care what I look like. I'm gonna hold the camera up while everyone stares at me. Yeah, now I'm gonna go try desperately to find a 20-inch tube, because I shredded the one I have. So I'm down to my last tube. I have to return to Europe from the Sahara Desert with one inner tube. Interesting. That's another annoying thing about 20-inch. Once you leave Europe, it doesn't exist that much, which is difficult. That's why a lot of touring bikes have 26-inch wheels, because that's the traditional, old school, old-fashioned mountain bike standard. Everything is 26. You find it anywhere in the world. Middle of Kazakhstan, no problem. 26-inch wheel bike exists. But these days, 700C, which is like the road bike standard, is getting pretty global. Morocco is very close to Europe and it's very easy to find things. Here, 100% find it anywhere, no problem. Maybe deeper in Africa. I know when I was traveling in West Africa and Senegal and the Gambia, that's where I think 26 could be an advantage, but we're not in Senegal and the Gambia, so for this trip, 700C would be a good choice. I'm on a real wild goose chase. All the like mechanic shops. My French sucks also, it's really bad. In Spain, in Spanish I can survive. In French I really can't. Obviously in Arabic I have nothing. They seem to be pointing me towards they're telling me to go towards the area of the bus station is where the bike stuff will be, which I am in, so I haven't really found anything. I'm going to go back to one of the mechanics, one of the bike mechanics, and maybe give him like some money and just say, look, please just show me where I need to be. I haven't got the time to mess around really. Well, I'm kind of leaving a bit defeated. This shop here with the green Oppo sign, apparently this might be what I need, but it's not open until 12, so I can try later. But the trip was not a failure because, yes, we know what that is. That is rocket fuel, baby. Stop that child. That child has 20-inch wheels. Come back here. I need your inner tubes. Well, here's my new rim strip. The guy at the bike shop had loads of old inner tubes lying around, obviously. You just cut a hole for the valve. And yeah, this will protect the inner tube from rubbing. Let's hope it holds up. The mechanic won't let me pay him, but he says, take this bike. We go with bikes. We find the place. So fun. Well, we are reassembled, and I managed to find 2 inner tubes. So I've got 2 spare inner tubes, which is cool. The spoke, there's no chance, there's no way I'll find a spoke of the right length, there's no way. I have no time anyway. I've just been rushing around like crazy, repacking things and cleaning things and, you know, sorting the chain and doing the wheel, so not been much of a rest, to be honest. We arrived yesterday, did all the stuff with the mayor and all the events, and then it was dinner and late. I had to do the YouTube video and update some things on my phone. Sleep, decent sleep, and then straight back to it. Breakfast, quick running around with the guy on the bike, so I haven't really had any rest, to be honest. I mean, I'm not cycling, which is nice, but just running around like crazy. Always the crazy scramble. Alright, a nice meal together, and yeah, 3:30 we start riding again. That was the rest day. Over in a flash.
Back on the bike. The quote-unquote rest day is over. Jean-Marc is ahead of me. We're going to go through the city wall and then back to it. Back on the roads of the Sun Trip. What a strange moment. This whole last 24 hours feels like a weird fever dream. Once he disappears, this could be the last time I see him in this entire Sun Trip. Goodbye, Jean-Marc, good luck. See you in Chambéry one way or another. Horrible situation. Just hit into the back of Jean-Marc, I can't believe it. Big old truck coming up behind me, looking in the mirror, and he stopped in the road. I don't know why he stopped, and maybe he needed something, but my panel is, my roof structure is damaged, his back panel is scratched. This is a nightmare. I was watching this massive truck coming up behind me in the mirror, and I looked forward and he'd stopped, and I just hit him. Yeah, this cable is completely sheared. What a disaster, I can't believe it. Send pictures of the solar panel to Florian. Honestly, this is the first time I feel like giving up. I could give up right now. I feel so guilty as well. Thank God it was the solar panel that was already damaged from the crash. When he had a crash in Spain, but still. And the scratch could have gone down every single panel, which would have been obviously much worse. It could have been worse, and obviously he's not hurt, which is the main thing. So bad. On the long straight road out of the city, he was quite far ahead of me. I could see this big old truck coming up behind me and a car overtaking. I was thinking, oh, that looks bad. And so I even tucked in a bit more to the right than I normally would have done. And yeah, I'm looking in my mirror, I look forward and suddenly he's right there, stopped in the road on the right side. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. And not only that, I also have to now like fix this somehow. And the guy that helped me, the bike guy, is gone. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. I can't believe it. Why would something like this happen? I mean, for sure the damage could have been worse. Like the cables have been completely cut by hitting the back of his solar panels on both sides. I don't have any more cable, nor do I have any crimping tools or crimps. So yeah, I guess maybe this guy has brake cable or something. Let's try, whatever. Honestly, I'm not in the mood at all to film, but I know I'll regret it if I don't, so yeah, I've replaced this with this Dyneema that Jean-Marc gave to me very kindly. This is much nicer than the random bits of string I was looking at this morning in those random shops. They had rope, that's why I went to that guy. I was going to go get some, but to be honest, this is nicer quality, so I'd rather use this, so it's really kind of him. The front is kind of works okay-ish. This is completely bent. It actually snapped the cable on both sides just from the force of the impact, and this is completely bent out of place, so I'm not 100% sure whether the tilting is going to work properly. Basically I have to do the same at the back. Somehow this side survived, only just. But yeah, I need to rewire it up. Well, I've done what I can do. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. What a rubbish situation. But back on the bike, let's go. Well, what a day. I feel absolutely defeated. I think this is the closest I've come to wanting to quit. I considered quitting, to be honest, today. Yeah, I'm very happy. Jean-Marc was so cool. He really was cool. Obviously, a huge sorry to him, and also a big thank you. He was really chill after the incident, after the crash. And you know, his first reaction was to say, well, this is the sun trip, these things happen. And you know, he gave me the cord because he wanted me to fix my bike. I think without that it would be even worse, because I already felt so guilty. I felt sick with guilt, even though it was fine. I just felt so bad, and I was in such a bad headspace. I rushed back to the town, did the quickest repair I could. I mean, the bike is running, but the tilting mechanism, I think, is dead, possibly. And it's possible also that the panel is almost dead. I can't say for sure, but I was getting less than half of what I would normally expect in those sun conditions. But I don't know if that's because it was kind of a dusty day. It was very dusty, and maybe the haze was affecting things. And it was late in the day also. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I got on the bike and in the worst headspace, started riding, and you know, some friends messaged me, and I read some messages from one mate, and then I just started crying. I just cried. I don't even know why that set me off. I just cried for like 15 minutes while riding, and the dust and the trucks coming past, and the sand and the dust is like sticking into my face, and I'm like just thinking, this trip, I've gone so deep on this trip. I've gone so deep. It's crazy, really. Jean-Marc's bike is so fast. It's so fast, I can't even explain to you. But my human power can only get me so far. If my solar panel is dead, then it's the end of the sun trip. The sun trip dream for me. My dream of winning is gone if the panel is not working at 100%. Already to be neck and neck at this point, it's probably over for me anyway, but for sure if the panel is damaged, which with such a big impact it probably is, yeah, it's game over. But you know, I was in this real low point, and I thought, you know, there's two options here. Either I'd, you know, stop pedaling hard and just take it easy while I'm in this really awful headspace and jeopardize everything, or I just come out, you know, I fight right now and wait to make decisions when the headspace is better. And I'm so glad that I did that. I pushed really hard because it's only a 4-hour ride. I know what I can do for 4 hours. I have a lot more human power available than for 13 hours like a normal day. So I pushed really hard, and there's really, really strong headwind, and there's limited accommodation options for today. And this place is the only place that I could find. I knew I had to do 30 kilometers per hour average into this strong headwind, so I calculated everything of the solar that was coming in, how much battery I had, and did no more than exactly the average I had to do. And I arrived here with 45 seconds to spare and just a tiny bit of battery. And I'm so glad that I did that, because I have not got the resilience for camping today. Yeah, a huge thank you to the people who have donated, because it's the thing that makes it possible for me to be staying in places like this. You know, I can just pick the place based on the distance, not on the cost. It really helps. Yeah, another bad day. You know, it seems to be a recurring theme. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow, where, you know, a fresh day perspective. Today was hard, but yeah, I'm gonna keep going and keep trying.
Gotta see what's possible. The bike's still running. It could have been worse. Let's see what happens. We have a very wild route. I think I said in a previous video, maybe not, the Tizian Test Pass. For me, this is where this sun trip really begins. This is where the adventure begins, and I mean, this is what we sign up for on a sun trip, the real adventure. The Kazakhstans, the Ukraine, the Western China. That's what a sun trip is. And yeah, if it gets hard and I just immediately quit, then that's not really what the sun trip is all about. A huge thank you to Jean-Marc for really showing the human sun trip spirit as well. Really nice guy. I had a really nice time with him and the organisers in the town of Taradon. This place that I've arrived now is amazing. I've been doing some work on the bike. The bike's in like the area where the chickens and the sheep are, and there's like a family that own the place, and the young kid is 13 and he speaks Berber, Arabic, French, English, and maybe some Spanish, I think he said. He's only 13 years old. Great kid, super nice kid, helping me with the bike a little bit and tools and stuff. And yeah, super nice. I mean, it's an amazing place, super amazing place. I'm just so glad to be here and that I got it just right. Yeah, tomorrow's another day. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. And let's get back to our usual programming, tomorrow. Thank you very much.